Welcome to a new episode of Apartment Hunting here in New York City. Hi, hello, welcome back or welcome if you're new here. My name is Flor, I'm a content creator based here in New York City, and this is episode 3 of Apartment Hunting in New York City. So, first of all, if you are new or if you're still not subscribed to the channel and this video just popped up in your suggestions in your homepage, go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell so you can get notified of every time I upload a new video. So we are now on episode 3. I want to do a small recap, although I would not share exactly everything that I shared in episodes 1 and 2. So I suggest you go ahead and watch those ones first, because otherwise there are some things that might be missing. I explained exactly why we are moving on episode 1, so that will be in there. And I've shown a total of 8 apartments before, 4 in episode 1, 4 in episode 2, in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, and in Queens. And I explained the reasons why I like those apartments and what I didn't like about them and why we ended up not choosing any of those 8 first apartments. But now we are on episode 3, more apartment hunting, more apartments that we toured, and I'm going to show you those. But first, and so that we are on the same page, quick small recap of what we're looking for in our apartment. First of all, we are looking for either a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom apartment. If it's a 2-bedroom, it should be large. I would say like 1,000 square feet, because we need to be able to fit 1 desk or 2 desks in the living room area, and also our L-shaped sofa, our dining room table. So the living room should be quite large. But if we could get a 3-bedroom apartment for our budget, that would be ideal, so that we could have a bedroom for my husband and I, a bedroom for our daughter, and then our 3rd bedroom would be our office. Then we need an apartment to have a dishwasher and to have a washer dryer in unit. I know that is maybe a luxury or asking for quite a lot in New York City, but we need them. I explained some of the reasons behind this on episode 1, so you can watch that one. And then we also need the apartment to be bright, to have lots of windows. That is something that I want more than my husband, because I love bright apartments, I love big windows, I love being able to have lots of natural sunlight. It's good for my mind, for my spirit, for my body, for my work, for everything basically. And of course we need the apartment to be pet friendly, because we have a dog, Oreo, and she's of course going to live with us. And then when it comes to the things that are not non-negotiables, we would ideally like to have an apartment that has a doorman and that has an elevator, but we could work with an apartment that has neither of those, because it could be something on the ground floor or 1st floor, so you wouldn't need an elevator. And it could also maybe be a building that has, I don't know, let's say 3-4 apartments, so you don't really need a doorman. So that is also to be considered. And then when it comes to the neighborhood, we're not really looking into a specific neighborhood, but more of an area that works for us. We both commute into Manhattan around 2-3 times a week, so we need to either be in Manhattan, or if we are in Queens or in Brooklyn, we need to be next to subway lines that take us easily and quick into Manhattan. So that's a requirement. We would ideally like to have a supermarket nearby, ideally a Trader Joe's, a Target like we have right now. And we're also looking into somewhere that has a daycare for Julia. She goes to daycare right now, and we need our new apartment to of course be near a daycare that we like, which is something that we will touch upon further on this video, because I need to talk more about that. But that's basically our requirements. And when it comes to our budget, we're looking into something that's between $5,000 and $6,000 per month. Before getting into the apartment tours, quick disclaimer, and I've said this, but I will say it before. I know that New York is expensive, super extra expensive. We all know that. But as of right now, we want to live in New York City. We want to stay in New York City. Our jobs are here. Our lives are here. We really love the city. And we, as well as a lot of people living in the area, we know that the price for living in this beautiful, amazing, crazy city is that you pay a lot of money for rent, and we all live with that, and it's okay. And I know that you could probably get a huge house somewhere else with this same amount of money, and good for you if you can do that. But we decided to stay here in New York and to look for apartments here in New York City. With that being said, let's move on to the apartment tours. So for episode 3, I am taking you to the Upper West Side in Manhattan. And something that I mentioned before and that I wanted to touch on is Julia's daycare. I mentioned that we needed to be somewhere close to a daycare that we liked, that we felt comfortable taking Julia to. And when we first started our search back in November of 2023, as I mentioned in episode 1, we were really not thinking about the daycare part of it as much as we were at this point. We really thought that getting a daycare would be easy. It would be like around the same price as we pay right now. But between then and now, we actually found out that daycare in Brooklyn is around the same price as in Queens, but daycare in Manhattan is a lot more expensive. So if you were looking into something like Midtown Manhattan or downtown Manhattan, we were talking about like a 50% increase or sometimes like even double, which was crazy. And then if you were looking into the Upper West Side as we were talking about $1,000 more off daycare than what we actually pay for right now. So what we realized when going into this search and seeing these apartments that I'm going to show you is that if we wanted to move to the Upper West Side, which it would be a dream, not gonna lie, I love the Upper West Side. Well, we're gonna talk about that. But if we wanted to move to the Upper West Side, we needed to find a place that was on the lower end of our budget or even below the lower end of our budget, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to afford or to justify the price of rent plus daycare, because daycare in Manhattan, as I said before, is more expensive. So just something to point out, because you're going to see that the rent prices for the apartments that I'm going to show you are quite low. So you're probably wondering like, why are they different from the ones that I showed you in episodes 1 and 2? And this is why. I want to do this like quick disclaimer before actually showing you the apartments. Anyways, with that out of the way, apartment number 1 for this video, apartment number 9 in total, was a beautiful 2-bed, 2-bathroom apartment on the Upper West Side. So as soon as you enter into the apartment, you were in the main area, which was the kitchen, dining room, living room. This apartment had just been renovated, so even though the building itself was old, you could see how new the apartment looked, like the doors and the walls and all the cabinets and all the appliances, and we really loved that. The living room, dining room area was not very large, to be honest. I don't think we could fit all our stuff in there, and the bedrooms were also pretty small. This one would be Julia's bedroom, which would be okay for her because she's quite small as well. It had a closet, and then you had the washer and dryer and the guest bathroom, which was beautifully renovated. And then if you went towards your right, you would find the main bedroom. This one was larger in size. It had a small closet, honestly really small. Beautiful views of the west side of Jersey, and it also had a bathroom that had been renovated, so it looked pretty amazing. We really liked this apartment, and I love the fact that it had been renovated very recently. I think we would be the first one living in there with the apartment having been renovated. And I'm highlighting this because if you decide to go to the Upper West Side or the Upper East Side, most of the time the apartments are quite old. Maybe sometimes you don't have an elevator. So having an elevator in this apartment, having this kitchen that looked brand new, having a washer and dryer, these bathrooms that were pristine, that was a big highlight and something that we did not take for granted for sure. But the apartment itself was on the smaller side, and even though it was within our budget, we didn't feel like we would able to fit in this one. But this realtor had another apartment in the same building, so we went and looked at that one. The second apartment that we saw was honestly dreamy. So from the main door, if you went towards your right, you would find the kitchen. It was more of a galley kitchen, so very narrow, but since it had lots of windows, it looked quite large. And as you can see, it had been renovated. All the cabinets, all the appliances were brand new. And at the end of it, there was this like space that you could use as a storage area. That door leads to the fire emergency exit, but you could definitely place cabinets over there or maybe store a stroller. It was an extra space that I really liked. The main living room area was quite large. I love all the exposed brick. That was beautiful. And then you had the guest bathroom right in the middle of the living room that had been renovated as well. And then this first bedroom was the main bedroom. This one would be our bedroom. It had a small closet and its own bathroom that had been renovated as well. Really nice. And also from the living room right next to the main bedroom, bedroom was the guest bedroom, the smaller bedroom that would be Julia's. This one had a larger closet, big windows, and was overall really nice. When we saw this listing on Street Easy, there were actually quite a lot of pictures of this apartment being staged, virtually staged but still, where you could see like how you could fit a sofa and a dining table and stuff, and it looked really beautiful. I saw all that exposed brick and I was honestly in love with this apartment. It was also south facing, but it did have a building right across the street, so it might not get as much light as you would get in other south facing units. So that was something that made us think, but definitely it was right within our budget if we consider the price that we had to pay for rent plus the price that we had to pay for daycare in the area. And I'm going to talk more about the area in a minute. After seeing these two apartments, this same realtor took us to a nearby building where she had another apartment available. This one was a larger apartment. It was a 3-bed, 2-bath, and because it was larger, of course, it was more expensive and towards the higher end of our budget, or even over our budget if we also consider daycare in the area. But we still went and saw that. So as soon as you enter this apartment, you saw towards your right all this exposed brick that was really beautiful and something that you already know that I loved. Towards your left, you would find the first bedroom. This one was a small bedroom. It could be either our office or maybe Julia's bedroom. It had its own closet. Then the second bedroom, which also had a closet, also on the smaller side. Then the first bathroom, which had been renovated, as you can see, so it looked really nice. Then you could find the kitchen, which was actually quite large and had pretty big windows, which I loved. And then if you continued from the kitchen, you would find the other bathroom, which was a bit smaller, but it was also accessible from the hallway, so no ensuite bathrooms in here. And if you continue down the hallway, you would get to the living room area, which had a door that led to the third bedroom that also had a closet. This one was the larger bedroom, as you can see. So we really like this apartment, not gonna lie. Even though it was on the higher end of our budget, we quite liked the area and the place. And in the listing in Street Easy, they had a lot of pictures of the apartment from its previous configuration when the previous tenants lived there, and you could see the amount of possibilities that this apartment gave you. The realtor told us that you could use that third bedroom as a dining room if you would, but for us, I think that would have been perfect for either an office or our main bedroom because it was the largest one. But you also had two other bedrooms, which was great. We really didn't mind the bathrooms actually being on the hallway, like none of them being en suite. That would be okay for us. And even though this was like a galley apartment, I think that's the word, you know, where you walk through a hallway and then you have a door that leads you to all the different rooms in the house. We didn't mind that, and I love how big and open the kitchen was and how bright it was, even though it was a very cloudy day. So I have to say that we really like this apartment. I love the exposed brick. I have said that like 500 times, but I loved it. I love the bow windows in the living room, seeing that fire escape. It felt very like New York, but unfortunately it was really pricey for our budget, and the landlords were not willing to lower the price, which is fine, but we tried. So we went to see another apartment sort of in the area. This fourth apartment that we saw was also a 3-bed, 2-bathroom apartment. As you enter through the front door, you would also find a hallway, as you can see, and then the first door to the first bedroom on your left. This one had a closet. If you continue through the hallway, there was the first bathroom over there, which would be like the guest bathroom. Then as you continue down the hallway, this was the main bedroom. As you could see, it had a bathroom inside the bedroom and also large closets, which is not something that you really see quite a lot on the Upper West Side. And then you went down the hallway, turned a corner, and you would find first on your left the laundry closet. Then if you continued on, this was the kitchen that actually had windows, which was really nice, a pretty spacious kitchen with a really large fridge. And then you can see all these doors. So the kitchen was connected to the living room, and this living room was also connected through these double doors to this other area, which would be the third bedroom. Since it had doors, it was an actual bedroom, but it had a second door that also connected to the kitchen. So what I loved about this apartment was its configuration configuration. I love that the main bedroom, the one that had the ensuite bathroom, was large, so you could definitely fit a king-size bed. And I love that the other bedroom that was quite large was towards the front of the house. These windows in the living room and the third bedroom, they face south, so they would get the most amount of light. And the windows in the main bedroom and the small bedroom, those windows were to like the inside of the building, so you would not really get quite a lot of light, which was pretty fine because that's where we were supposed to sleep, so we didn't really want light in there. And I love the kitchen being connected to this third bedroom, which would be our office, because I'm always snacking, you know, I always want to eat something while I'm working, and I really love this apartment. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably the apartment that we like the most because it was very big in terms of size. The price was just right, especially because this one was a rent stabilized apartment. And I'm not an expert here, but basically when you get a rent stabilized apartment, the owner, the landlord, cannot raise the price that much. They can only raise it every couple years, and only like a 1% or 2%, something like that. I will leave some more information on the screen because I'm not an expert, as I said before, but we were able to get this price for rent for 2 years. So that worked out really, really well for us. The only thing that was not working for me as much was that the bathrooms in this apartment were not renovated. So they were probably from the era where this building was first built. So even though they were okay, when comparing them to any other apartment that we had seen, we felt like they were not great. And I felt like we would definitely have to work on those bathrooms to make them look a bit better. And I don't know if it was something that we wanted to do in an apartment. We wanted something ready to move in and not having to work on improving some of these areas. Something that I wanted to say about these 4 apartments on the Upper West Side is that they were all really close to Central Park. And if you know me and if you've been watching my videos, you know that Central Park is my favorite place in all of New York City. So being able to say, okay, I'm going to the park, like the park close to my apartment is Central Park, that would be a dream come true. So that really made us want to choose one of these 4 apartments, especially if we chose one of the first ones. If we consider that adding daycare, it could work out, but in the end we decided against it. And even though we really love some of these apartments and the neighborhood, and there's a Trader Joe's over there, there's a Target, the daycare, the park, everything, we ended up not going for any of these 4 apartments. And yeah, the search continued. And now you're probably getting frustrated. You're like, Flor, I've watched 3 of these episodes. I watched like an hour of apartment hunting videos and we're still not there. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
No, we are not!
Are we there yet?
No!
And before you get upset, before you get worried, I wanted to let you know that we did find an apartment. One apartment that we saw during this whole process in one of these 3 neighborhoods, Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. One of this apartment actually worked for us. We liked it. It was actually the last one that we saw, which is usually the case. When you see the one that you like, you end the search, and that's what we did. So we did find an apartment, luckily. So you will see that apartment. I filmed an empty apartment tour, so that's coming up next. And you will also be seeing all the process of moving out from our apartment into this new place. And I'm also planning on filming some of the move-in process, like trying to find space for new stuff in our apartment, trying to find space for the things that we have in the new apartment, and seeing how that works out. So stay tuned for the next video, or the one after that. That would be the empty apartment tour of our new apartment in New York City. And before ending this video, I wanted to say a few things. First of all, thank you for joining me in this new apartment hunting process. I love sharing all the apartments that we get to tour through New York City with you. I know that this is content that a lot of people around the world love watching, seeing what's available in other parts of the world, seeing what's available in some parts of New York City. So I hope you enjoy the process and you like watching these 3 episodes of apartment hunting, and that you're looking forward to the empty apartment tour. The second thing that I wanted to mention is that I did another series of apartment hunting in New York City 2 years ago. So if you want more, if you want to watch more, you can go ahead and watch that apartment hunting series. You have 4 episodes in season 1, season 2022. This is season 2024. You can watch those. You have like over an hour of content over there. I will be linking that apartment hunting series down below in the description box. And of course, I would love to know which of these apartments that I showed you like the most, which one you like the best, the one that you would have chosen if it were up to you, which of these 12 apartments in total that I showed you would have liked. And I would love for you to speculate, if you want, where we're moving next. Are we moving to the Upper West Side? Are we moving to South Harlem? Are we moving to Brooklyn? Are we moving to Long Island City? Where are we moving next? I would love for you to let me know your thoughts. Let me know your guesses down below in the comments as well. And also maybe what you think our next apartment will definitely have, what you think it won't have, what do you envision our next apartment is going to look like. Really hope you like this series. If you haven't watched episodes 1 and 2, of course, go ahead and watch those ones as well. And as I always say, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell, especially if you don't want to miss my empty apartment tour that's coming up next. And I will see you on the next one. Bye!